Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Monday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. Hope all of you had a fantastic weekend to recharge the batteries. No Pittsburgh Steelers coverage over the weekend. They played on Thursday. So I hope we all had a fairly stress-free weekend. We got to watch some good college football, some good NFL football, and today we are going to recap everything that has gone down in the past couple of days. Plus, we'll still talk a little bit about what happened back on Thursday. But for the most part today, let's do something new. Let's wipe the slate clean. Let's move forward, and let's take a deep breath here and realize, hey, Thursday was Thursday. Let's now today look a little bit more at the positives and also realize that the biggest positive is that a new opponent in a new week is right around the corner. Again, on primetime television, we will begin to start talking about Steelers and Packers today. We'll also go back and I'm sure recap a little bit more about the Cincinnati Bengals game, but we'll do all that. We'll also talk a little bit about some Pittsburgh Penguins today. They wrapped up their West Coast road trip on Saturday night, defeating the San Jose Sharks. They are back in Pittsburgh before they take on the Vancouver Canucks tomorrow night. And then after that, we will get into any extra Pittsburgh sports news that we come across along the way. Before we get started, if you are new here, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Like this live stream, share this live stream, and in the comments section, leave any thoughts, questions, opinions, comments, anything on your mind. Get those in the comments section, and we can pop those up on screen and discuss further at any moment in time. Also, go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and tune in later tonight for a new edition of SCSR 60. The biggest thing, please get those comments in the comments section. Help things move more swiftly along the stream here tonight. And to the comment section we go. One commenter already in here. Truth Thong, welcome back. Truth, is Slay too old? Yeah, I mean, I think so. Really, it's been tough getting an evaluation of Darius Slay. He's had some good games. Like when the defense is doing good, he's doing good as well. But in the really ugliest of games that the Steelers defense has had this year, the two most notably the one to begin the year against the New York Jets, and then this past week against the Joe Flacco-led Bengals. Slay, he has been a massive culprit and a massive piece of why that defense was so bad. I don't want to write the guy off and say, he's useless to the team, cut him, get rid of him, that sort of stuff. But it has been a rough go of late. I mean, we kind of could have expected this, coming into the Steelers. He got replaced, pushed out by younger talent on that Super Bowl championship winning Philadelphia Eagles defense from last year. He comes here and, he's gotten beat a couple of times, especially against guys who got wheels like Jamar Chase and Garrett Wilson. So is he too old? Maybe. I thought, we'd see some more safety capabilities from Darius Slay at this point. Not going to lie there. We just haven't seen it from him yet. But I will say, I think on a good day, Slay can, turn back the clock, make a couple of good plays. But in the ugliest of performances that the Steelers have had, he has been a big reason and why they are ugly. And another thing I will say, about Darius Slay is I know, I say this knowing this guy got cooked on Thursday as well. Thank goodness Jalen Ramsey is here because, Ramsey, aside from that, Chase game from Thursday, which, who didn't Jamar Chase beat, Ramsey has been by far the best corner on this team. And if he wasn't traded for, the Steelers defense, they would be in a world of trouble because then you're looking at Joey Porter Jr., which people are starting to call him Joey Penalty Jr. On one side, and then Darius Slay, who's been getting cooked on some big plays on the other side. So thank goodness it's not just those two. I will say that. Thank you for the comment there, Truth Thong. We will still talk about what happened on Thursday. New opinions and all that have been formed now that cooler heads have prevailed over the past 48 hours. So, yeah, just looking back at that game and looking ahead to this Packers game, I want to try to focus as much as I can on the positives today. Positive, pretty much the offense, I think, is legit. I mean, honestly, you got Aaron Rodgers, who is playing at an unreal rate right now for his age, 41 years old. I believe he was 23 for 34 and 4 passing touchdowns against the Bengals. That was outstanding. He's got 14 passing touchdowns already on the season. That's most by far that we have seen in quite some time from any quarterback since Big Ben. And honestly, Rodgers right now, he could be performing better than any level that we've seen from Big Ben, because I think I heard today, Rodgers, he's on pace for 40 plus passing touchdowns. Even if he gets to 35 passing touchdowns this season, Aaron Rodgers, which at the rate he's going, who's going to doubt him? The only thing that I think may stop him is age or his health. But Rodgers, if he throws 35 touchdowns this year, that'll be the most in a single season by a Steelers quarterback ever. Big Ben, he capped off at 34. I forget what year that was. So Rodgers, we could be seeing the best football that we have ever seen from a Steelers quarterback coming from him in the, sunset of his career here. So that's pretty crazy. And also, this is sort of looking ahead to Sunday night's football game. As bad as the Steelers looked, the defense at least, looked on Thursday, is it weird that I have an unusually high amount of confidence heading into this game Sunday night? You got Rodgers playing at the level he is right now. And also, this was very, very easy to do preseason. If there was one game on the schedule, besides the week 1 game, of course, against the Jets, but if there was one game on the schedule that Aaron Rodgers would have circled, it is this one coming up on Sunday night. Him against Jordan Love, student versus teacher, Padawan versus master. Rodgers, he's going to be looking to say, hey, I may ride off into the sunset after the season, but I just want to, show you that I still got it. We could be in for, going for a movie analogy here. Remember the movie Cars? And Doc Hudson says, or Lightning McQueen says, I know all your tricks. And, Rodgers says, not all of my tricks, rookie. We could be in for that. And I'm hoping we are. Rodgers, he's been unreal. And I want to see him go out there amped up. He might throw for 6 touchdowns and show something that this kid was like, damn, he never taught me that. Or, damn, I haven't seen that from him since, he was back here teaching me when I just got drafted. So I want to see that from Rodgers coming up here on Sunday night. Also, with a win on Sunday, Rodgers, he's going to be motivated to become the 5th ever quarterback to beat all 32 NFL teams. And again, talking about how much of a different level he is on right now, he is the only quarterback this season in the NFL to have multiple 4+ passing touchdown games. The current, I believe, MVP favorite, Baker Mayfield, with all the weapons he's had down there in Tampa, they're about to play here on Monday night. He hasn't thrown 4 touchdown passes. Patrick Mahomes still got Travis Kelce and Xavier Worthy. They just got Rashee Rice back and all that. He hasn't thrown multiple 4 passing touchdown games. Trying to think here. The Dallas Cowboys. I mean, yeah, you can say what you will about their defense without Micah Parsons, but Dak Prescott, he's playing a hell of a year down there in Dallas right now. They tied these Green Bay Packers, who we're going to see on Sunday. And he, with George Pickens, who is going off right now. I know Steelers fans are still like, oh, why did we get rid of George? Do you really believe that if George Pickens was still here, after seeing a new guy fresh off another team and DK get the money that he was probably looking for, do you really think he was going to finally screw his head on straight and play for a bag here? No, he would have been the same old distraction that we knew. So even though Pickens is having the year he is down in Dallas, and they haven't had CeeDee Lamb the whole year, but still that is a very pass-happy offense down there in Dallas. Prescott hasn't been able to do that. Rodgers, the only quarterback this year that has been able to do that. So I have super high confidence in this team heading into Sunday Night Football because you got Aaron Rodgers right there. And I know he's going to be going up against a team that knows a ton about him, but he is going to be sharp. He is going to be fully focused, and he is going to give it his all here on Sunday Night Football. If this ends up being his, final game where he says, screw it, I'm going to go balls to the wall all night long, risking health and all that, then I think we might see that from him because he is on another level right now is Rodgers, and I want to see him bring that to the table on Sunday night. Also, talking about the rest of the offense and, the confidence I have in this team heading into Sunday night. You also have an offensive line that I know they're going up against. They went up, I should say, against a Bengals front without Trey Hendrickson, but still no sacks of Aaron Rodgers. They kept him upright. The only time Rodgers hit the turf was Broderick Jones literally tackling him. Jones, we heard from today, joked around saying that he might do it again. Broderick, I hope you're actually joking there and not serious, because please never do that crap again. But I think that's a building block for the offensive line. They keep their quarterback upright the entire game. Now they're going to go up against a Micah Parsons led front for the Packers, and they got some other guys there, Rashawn Gary and things like that. But, having a no sack performance from your offensive line, that could be, that could give them a ton of confidence moving forward, and it could carry over into the next game. Jaylen Warren in the running game, that has improved 127, I believe, yards on the ground for Jaylen Warren against the Bengals. I think that can continue. Looking back at Friday's live stream on here, I said, I want to see Warren get just about double the touches. I think he had 13 carries or 16 carries, I think. Get him into the 20s and well into the 20s. I'm talking about pushing 25 to 25 carries, maybe around 30 touches. I don't care how many snaps you play offensively. Over 50% of the time, I want the ball in Jaylen Warren's hands. Other times, we can give it to DK Metcalf. I'm sure he's going to want to have a bounce back performance. He was targeted on both of the interceptions Rodgers threw. So throw it to Rodgers or throw it from Rodgers to Metcalf, get it to Warren. And also, maybe we see something else from all the other guys. All three tight ends, Washington, Jonnu Smith, and Freiermuth. They all caught touchdown passes. I'm sure they don't want those to be, their only big games of the year. They're going to want more. Calvin Austin, he could be coming back soon. He said, hopefully, when asked if he was going to be playing this week, so we could get him back. We will talk about wide receivers more in the show as well. But as much as, I said the Steelers, it was more likely that the Bengals game would have gone into a back and forth shootout than it would be, a defensive slog. If it happens again, I still have confidence in this team. I think the defense, they're going to respond after getting their teeth kicked in. How well? We don't know. The defense, the running game really sucked against the Bengals. And now they got Josh Jacobs coming at them. DBs, yikes. Against Chase and T. Higgins, they looked rough. And that got me thinking, if they give up that to Higgins and Chase, which they're the best wide receiver tandem in the league, what are they going to look like against Romeo Doubs and Golden this week? They're not even close to the level of Higgins and Chase, but still, they're a good tandem. After that, you got the Colts, and they got a high-powered offense that's blowing out teams this year. And then Quentin Nelson, I think, with the Chargers, he's remembered how to catch a football. You still got Ladd McConkey there as well. And then, you go on and on down the schedule here. Sure, there are some teams that have, one to no weapons at wide receiver. But then the way this team looked on Thursday, them being in the thick of it with the Ravens, maybe even the Bengals near the end of the year, fighting for the division lead. Then Ramsey and Slay and Porter, they're going to have to go up against Jamison Williams and Ahmad Ross St. Brown. of the Lions, and that is not going to be a good matchup there. We might see a similar box score to, the Bengals game. I'm hoping that's not the case, but I'm trying to stay optimistic here today. I think, the offense, they can continue humming along. Rodgers, he's going to make sure be on these guys all week long saying, hey, we got to be ready, because he is going to expect perfection, not just from them, but from himself. And when you expect perfection like that, everyone's going to be on the littlest of details, and that's what makes great offenses. And on defense, I think that unit is going to want to respond. They're going to want to get after Jordan Love. I think, Tomlin being terrified of Joe Flacco carried over to the defense, and they played defense scared, not rushing anyone, but that didn't really work out. They got gashed no matter what they did. But I think they're going to want to respond. They're going to want to challenge this Packers offense, which is still a rising unit. They haven't been, a fully well-oiled machine. The Packers have been this season, but they are a team getting there quickly. And I want to see this team go out Sunday night, say, hey, that Bengals game, it was just a fluke. Go out there, take it to the Packers, and set them in their progress back in the process. So we'll see what comes up here on Sunday night. I'm sure we'll talk about it a bunch more throughout the week. Also forgot that this will be on Sunday Night Football, the Steelers wearing those interesting alternate uniforms that harkens back to their 1933 days, the gold helmet, the gold jersey with the stripes. So it'll be interesting to see that on primetime television. Hopefully those carry the powers of the Bumblebee jerseys. I mean, the Bumblebee jerseys for the Steelers, they were ugly, but hey, they wanted them. And I think Mike Tomlin, we've been over the past couple of weeks talking about good records of his, and they've kind of, lived up to the to what they are so far. I think Tomlin has never lost to Cleveland in a regular season game. In Pittsburgh, that streak continued. He also continued his awful streak on Thursday Night Football on the road, and hopefully this one continues to look positive for him as well. Tomlin 16-5 in his coaching career when the Steelers are wearing alternate uniforms. So power of the Bumblebee jerseys. Please use these jerseys as a conduit and make your presence known again. To the comments section we go here. 5 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. Got a couple of new commenters in here. Truth is still in here. THP and Now on the Prowl are in here as well. THP, how are the Steelers still not favored to win the AFC North? Makes you wonder. Well, I think they were favored heading into Thursday night's game. I thought I heard that they then became favored, but, when you lose to the Bengals like that, of course, you're going to get knocked right back out of that, favor to win the AFC North. I think the betting markets, just like us, they are waiting to see the Pittsburgh Steelers that we know, the team that will get out to a hot start in the season. They'll get 8-3, 10-3, something like that, like they were last year. Weren't they 10-3? And then, boom, 5 straight losses, including the playoffs, they're out. So I think the betting markets, they're just like us waiting, like, why is this team going to fall off? When are they going to fall off? It's very, very, what's going on here? This is, unusual for the Steelers. Are they going to fall off here, or is this a trap game here? Like, I think the markets are just as, what should I say, paranoid as us all. Still, though, 4-2, still atop the division. Everyone else in the division has a losing record. I don't know why they are not favored, but seeing how the betting markets were, it's kind of like when a college football team that wasn't ranked to start the year all of a sudden, gets on a little bit of a hot streak to start the year. They become the 24th or 23rd ranked team in the nation, and then back outside the 25 they go after a loss. THP, obviously, I'm a no Cowboys fan, but Rodgers is balling. Not counting A-Rod out, especially in a one-game scenario. Yeah, I'm not counting A-Rod out for the rest of the season as long as he is still healthy at 100%. If they can keep him upright who's to say when this is going to stop with him? He is the one guy on this team, the one factor on this team that I say, the Steelers, when are they going to fall off? But Rodgers, has he shown any sign of stopping? It seems he's only getting stronger as the games and that goes on here. So as much as us Steelers fans were waiting for the Steelers, when is their true self going to show? Are they still a contender or are they a pretender? Rodgers, I think he's got a good chance of dragging this team out of that, cycle that they've been in for the past couple of years. If anybody's going to do it, he would be the one. Al on the prowl in here. Welcome, Al. I hope that this is not when the descent happens. Yep. Same feeling here there, Al. The way the season is going at the moment, if we are going to make the playoffs, we are going to have to win the division. I don't think we will get a wild card. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, though. I mean, it feels like the AFC this year, the NFC, I think the NFC is way wide open, but the AFC, I think right now, we're heading into week 8 of the season. We are pretty much at the point where you got your top teams up here, and then you got your teams down here fighting for, the first overall pick, like the Titans and the Dolphins, the Giants, even though they've gotten better. Well, they're NFC, but right now it just feels like the AFC, especially, we're starting to see more and more as the weeks have gone on. You got teams down here and you got teams up here, and there's little in between. So if they get, a wild card, I'm not going to completely rule it out. But winning the division, it is the most crucial in my opinion. One thing you can also do to help yourselves break this cycle of having a crappy end of the season and then get blown out on the road in a wild card game, win the division. Get a home game, get one of those favorable matchups against a wild card team. Hopefully, preferably be a West Coast team like the Chargers or someone, make them travel all the way to Pittsburgh, and then you get the crowd environment on your side. Really the first time that this would be a home playoff game for the Steelers since COVID. Well, not since before COVID is what I meant, because COVID, you had really nobody in the seats and the Browns did what they did. But you think that this fan base, they are starving for a home playoff game right now, and that could be a massive advantage and a big boost to help the Steelers break this cycle of just 9-8, 10-7, one and done in the playoffs. I'm hoping that's the case. Winning the division, they got a golden opportunity. Get yourself a home playoff game, and that will, I think, help more than what any of us may realize. Truth here, Rodgers is a 41-year-old signing and is our best player. Says a lot about the lack of good drafts in recent years, that there are no other exceptional players. Rodgers, 4-time MVP, him dialing back the clock is one thing. I'm not going to say that, the past couple of years have been, bad drafts. Well, you want to go back to the last 2 or 3 drafts of Kevin Colbert, then yeah, those were pretty terrible, especially the 2021 draft, or the 2022 draft, I should say. But, I do think that the Steelers, I see where Omar Khan is coming from when he constructed this team. I think all of his drafts so far, have they produced some mega star player? No, I don't think so. But they do have guys that are really good players in specific roles. And I don't mean to, use that as a negative term, saying, no, this guy's only useful in this situation. He got guys that are amongst, starting caliber backups, like Nick Herbig, Darnell Washington, Troy Fautanu. I still have high hopes for that. He could be a long-term stud at right tackle. Zach Frazier at center. I think he's going to be the guy there for a while. The depth of Omar Khan's drafts, they have been good, but top-end picks, Broderick Jones, Joey Porter Jr., still waiting on those to pan out yet. But, also bringing in guys like Rodgers and Jalen Ramsey in the offseason, DK Metcalf, those star-studded guys to help, lead these guys along and finish off that development from prospects into players. I think that was a good idea from Omar Khan. Out on the prowl here, starting to become important to win every game. I'm not going to get there quite yet. I mean, do I want to see this team, win these next 3 games? Absolutely. You got a revenge game, sort of, for Aaron Rodgers against the Packers. He's going to be fired up. You guys want to win that game to avoid, having the whole 2 is a pattern situation. Another thing, another game that I really want to win, beat the Colts. That's a team that's had your number for the past couple of years with, I believe, Shane Steichen as their head coach. And they seem like a well-oiled machine, though, that no one expected to be to this point this year. I want you to, knock them down a peg and make the whole, all right, who's the clear-cut favorite in the AFC North even more difficult. And then you got the another Harbaugh coming to town. That's another Sunday night football game 3 weeks from now against the Chargers. Take it to them. At that point, you're sitting 7-2, and that will be in a good spot for you because then you got the Browns one more time. You'll have a revenge game against Cincinnati, and you can, maybe afford to. I still want you to compete, but then you can afford to, maybe let one slide against better teams, against the Bills and the Lions. But I will say they're, starting to become important to win every game. I will say it is important right now to win every game that you should for the rest of the season. There should be no excuses, no more trap games from here on out. I don't want to see a Joe Flacco torch you guys again when you've seen him a million times. I don't want to see you drop one against the Browns in Cleveland when it's whoever's quarterback at that point. Trap game stuff is over. You want to, get this fan base back on your side after that horrendous performance. Win every game that you should, or at least can, for the rest of the season. Get those easy ones out of the way. No excuses for that for the rest of the season, in my opinion. Now on the prowl, will the real Steelers please stand up? Yeah, I mean, hopefully that mom spaghetti that they threw up all over their sweater gets cleaned off before they take on the Packers. In my opinion, it's not the players, it's the coaching. Yeah, I mean, coaching definitely is a big part of it. We talked about that on Friday. As much as we want to criticize the players for getting burned over and over again to a running game that was horrendous heading into Thursday night into Jamar Chase over and over and over again, it's got to be on the coaches at some point to make an adjustment, which isn't their forte. I think, Mike Tomlin, he's one of those guys where I think my scheme is good enough. Don't need to change it at all. I just got to have faith in my players that they'll execute it. Well, you can have all the players in the world. You can have in my opinion, the worst NFL team, drop into the same coverage every single time, and the best college team will be able to say, all right, hey, they're just doing this every time, so let's get free yardage this way. Like, no, you got to make an adjustment. You got to see what your opponent is doing in counterattack, not just pray that, oh, hey, they beat us the first 15 times, but don't worry, we'll get them on the 16th because they're going to, finally run into our trap. No, it's not how it works. You got to, instead of, taking all the punches in boxing, waiting for that one opportunity that never may come, give a little counter punch every now and again to keep them honest. Just say, hey, I'm not a punching bag here. So, yeah, it is on coaching. I mean, yeah, it was a short week against the Bengals, but, still can't lose like that to the Bengals. Even if, Jamar Chase still had the game he did, but everyone else around him did nothing, that might be a little bit better, but I mean, can't have that game on Thursday, and we're trying to move on from it here. Speaking of moving on here, let's move on to the next segment for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about the Steelers and their game on Thursday. DK Metcalf still had, I think, 4 catches for 95 yards or something like that. So it was an okay game from him, but The tight ends, they were used a lot. The wide receivers, they took a back seat against the Bengals, and now that takes us into everyone's favorite topic, and that is the Steelers still search for a wide receiver too. Will they ultimately trade for a wide receiver too? I mean, maybe, maybe not, but we're still going to give updates on what is going on around the league. The big update over the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, Diana Russini covers the NFL for The Athletic. She dropping a piece of news on multiple players who are drawing interest before the trade deadline here, coming up in 2 weeks on November 4th. And still, names on there that the Steelers could have interest in, but Russini shooting down some of those options for the Steelers. One that she mentioned, the Saints, Chris Olave. You wanted to talk about getting another guy who can easily play a number one if DK Metcalf were to go down. Olave, he would certainly do that. Doesn't sound like the Saints are too keen on trading him. They are trying to work out a long-term extension with Olave per Russini. I think Olave also caught a touchdown pass over the weekend. So is he happy down there in New Orleans? I don't know, but money talks in the NFL, and the Saints are going to offer him a lucrative extension, and he's not going to know much about what situation he could be walking to elsewhere around the league. He may just end up staying there. The Miami Dolphins, they received calls about multiple players, including Jalen Waddle. Doesn't sound like they're ready to ship off those guys yet. Honestly, Waddle staying there. Someone's going to need to catch the ball for whatever quarterback is down there. Yeah, you're a team, tanking for the number one spot in the draft right now, but whatever rookie quarterback you bring in that spot, you still got a nice, young, talented wide receiver in Waddle, and Tyreek Hill is hurt, so I could see very easily that Waddle will stay there. Also, the Eagles, they are looking for help on defense, but Russini added that A.J. Brown calls have been rejected. That was always a long shot. I mean, any team that's contending, they're not going to ship off a good player. I mean, that kind of goes for the same thing right now with the Steelers. People still talk about, could you trade Freiermuth or Highsmith for a wide receiver? Like, on good teams, they don't take away from one good area to fill a need at an area that's struggling. No, you want to get all of your ducks in a row as much as you can. Don't, sub out anyone from a strength to fill in a weakness, because then your weakness becomes your strength, but your strength becomes a little bit weaker. So I don't see that happening. The Eagles, they aren't going to do that, shipping off A.J. Brown. So I think the pipe dream of the Mississippi boys, Brown and Metcalf reuniting, I think that is pretty much gone and buried right now, unless, Brown snaps and then he really asks for a trade. Who knows? Last one here from Russini. She did mention Jacoby Myers, and she listed him as several names that are drawing calls ahead of the trade deadline. Myers, I think, probably the perfect fit too. We've reiterated it over and over again. A guy who can play that in-between game between, a big body and a small guy that you get yards after catch with. Myers, he's going to be a professional route runner, in my opinion. Good hands, I believe. And also, he's going to be a guy that defenses circle on the board saying, hey, this guy can do it all. Also, absolute dog in the running game. And this team, they love to run the ball a lot. Even when they're in 12 personnel, you still need another wide receiver out there besides DK Metcalf. Having Myers as that guy compared to a, Calvin Austin or something like that, that would be very beneficial for the Steelers. So in more ways than one, which the one being catching the football, Myers will be an excellent fit here for the Steelers. He did not play this past weekend against the Chiefs. Yesterday, Chiefs blew out the Raiders. We'll get more into that game, believe it or not, here in a minute. Certain quarterback everyone in Pittsburgh is familiar with, made an appearance in that game. But Myers did not play against the Chiefs. I wonder what, it's a knee toe injury, but is it that serious? I don't know. I think he was at an NBA game or something a couple days before the Chiefs game. So I like to think he may be milking this injury a little bit, keep himself as fresh as he can be for a new team. If the writing is on the wall that he will be traded out of Las Vegas, let's just hope that it is the Steelers. So Myers still the most realistic option and the best option for the Steelers. We'll see if that will come true or not here by the 4th. I'm hoping so. At least, I hope it's not, someone that Aaron Rodgers has had a relationship before. What I'm referring to here, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Remember when he was, a option for about half a day that the Steelers could sign him? Well, he goes to the 49ers practice squad, and he gets cut with an injury thing. So now I guess we're back on MVS watch as well to possibly come from the Steelers. Hopefully that is not the case. Please just go out, get Jakobi Myers. I'm willing to deal a 4th or a 3rd round pick at this point to get Myers back and maybe another midday pick. Let's just get him in here, get this wide receiver 2 situation figured out once and for all, and move forward. I think that will go a long way into helping this team as the season goes along. One thing that, can help with a struggling defense right now, the offense staying on the field longer. You go out, you get a wide receiver 2, someone who can make plays on this offense besides Metcalf and Warren. That's a couple extra first downs. That extends drives. That keeps that defense fresh. So as the update on the wide receiver situation, Myers still the top guy. Everyone else starting to really fade off as realistic options. I think, A.J. Brown, I honestly don't think that was really a possibility. Olave, he'd probably be the second, top guy at this point. But if the Saints are looking to extend him, what makes you think they're going to trade him? And Waddle also I don't think is an option either for the Dolphins. To the comment section, we go again here. Al on the prowl. Denver, LA, KC, Colts, Texans, Jags, Pats, Bills, not to mention the Bengals if Burrow gets back, all will be in contention for a wild card. Let me go team by team here. Denver, I think they've taken a step back. I mean, well, I say that as they made an incredible comeback yesterday, but Steelers, they beat them with Justin Fields last year. I think Aaron Rodgers might be able to fare better than them in getting this team better than Denver. LA Chargers, still a team that I'm waiting for them to beat the Steelers. I mean, you're looking here. LA, they got already the tiebreaker over the Pats, beating them. The Bengals, they still got one more game on their schedule. And then they got the Bills as well, who they can try to beat and get some sort of tiebreaker off. Because I think the Patriots, they might honestly win that division. And the Bills will be a top wild card team. But the Steelers, if they're in wild card contention for any strange reason, go and beat them, get that tiebreaker over them. But some teams who I think could fall off, honestly, Texans, they haven't really impressed me or flashed this year. They play later tonight at 10 o'clock, which what the hell is up with that game starting so late? Jags, yes, they beat the Chiefs, but man, they look rough. They look real rough. I mean, belt to ass from the Rams to the Jags in London. Yikes, that was an ugly game. So, some of these teams, yeah, they will be in wild card contention, but, some of them, I could see them falling off just as much as the Steelers could here in the next couple of weeks, which is why the Steelers, they need to keep their foot on the gas pedal here. Al here again. Dolphins are the biggest disaster ever. Yeah, they are rough. Almost makes me feel bad that, we had to exile Minka down there. I mean, yikes. Talk about going from a team that was in playoffs last year to now you're back where it all began and the team is still as crappy as it was when you were there. So, terrible situation for them. I was wrong about Daniel Jones, that's for sure. I think, are those the two biggest surprises from the season so far, the way Daniel Jones and Aaron Rodgers have performed, two quarterbacks, which, they could be, well, one for retirement, one because he sucked in New York. You're talking about two guys that people, I guarantee you, wouldn't have predicted to be good this year, let alone solidify that, hey, they could be legit dudes leading their teams deep into playoffs. But yeah, Jones, we were wrong about him. I mean, much respect to him in that offense out there in Indianapolis. Same thing goes for Rodgers. I want to see these two teams lock horns here in 2 weeks. Yeah, killing it with the Colts. Wonder if Kamara is going to move. See, he seems like a guy that has been on the trade block for like a couple of years now, but has never moved. So, yeah, I wonder. Maybe he finally goes. I don't know. What's a running back needy team? You know what? It would be very scary if he went to a team that now looks like they're finally getting their crap together in the Chiefs. I mean, yeah, they got Pacheco and Kareem Hunt and stuff like that, but if you want to get a true number one for the Chiefs, Kamara would be a guy there. That'd be pretty worrying for me if I was facing them in the playoffs. Also, yeah, what are some other teams that Kamara could go to? AFC side that would scare us. Maybe LA. No Najee. Omarion Hampton is still on IR. Maybe he could go out to LA. The Bills got James Cook. The Patriots, I mean, their running backs have been fumbling the ball all season long. Maybe they get a guy who very experienced in holding on to the ball there. We'll see if Kamara does get moved there, Al. Goes to show you how bad the Giants were. Yeah, I mean, they kind of still are, though. I mean, geez, you're up, what was it, 28 to 8 or something yesterday? I mean, come on there. Let's get it together here, Giants, because that was absolutely brutal to watch for them. Yep, Chiefs, Patriots, two teams I do think could be in play for Kamara. Besides the Steelers, what teams could be in the running for Jacoby Myers, I wonder? I don't know. I mean, Bills? Because, I mean, yeah, they got guys that you know of, Coleman, Palmer, and Shakir, but Myers gets put in that situation. He's a 1 automatically. Pats, maybe. I mean, they're pretty thin at wide receiver. They could be in on Myers as well. So Steelers do have competition in this trade market for Jacoby Myers. Let's not act like they're all alone in seeking his services. 8 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. Please hit that subscribe button if you are new here. Going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment here in a moment. But before that, we got one real quick final main topic for the day, and that is the Pittsburgh Penguins. Going to switch gears to them just for a couple of seconds. Since we last spoke, the Penguins wrapping up a West Coast road trip. They won game 1 of that road trip against the Anaheim Ducks in the Ducks home opener. Then they lost Thursday night against the LA Kings. I got that backwards. They lost to the Ducks, and then they beat the Kings. And then they, on Saturday, taking on the San Jose Sharks, another 10 o'clock start there, and stayed up for most of the game, was really, really tired that night, so didn't get to finish it. But from what I saw, excellent performance there from the Pens. They took on, old friend Alex Nedeljkovic. He's out there. I think he's the top goalie for the Sharks. Tells you about their goaltending situation. I don't mean that as a shot at net at all. Ben Kindle was back in the lineup for the Pens, centering that third line. Harrison Brunick still in on the bottom pair for the Pens defense. So the two youngsters still in the lineup for the Pens. First period, Pens 18 shots, outstanding scoring chances for them. But unfortunately, at the other end of the ice, they also gave up some high danger chances as well. it was an all offense, no defense sort of start to the game. In the second period, Pens, they got on the board first in this one, 1-0. Crosby, a deflection off of a shot from Chris Letang. I'm not even sure if the puck was along the ice. I think Sid just tipped it while it was, hardly shot at the net. Tells you about the awesome hand-eye coordination he has. In the third period, Anthony Mantha made it 2-0 Pens. That came about 7 minutes into that period. And then Evgeny Malkin, he tacked on the extra, the one last goal, the empty netter, I think under 20 seconds. So the Pens, as you see there on your screen, 3-0 win over the Sharks. Got outshot, but it's not about how many shots you take. It's about what you do with them. All in all, wasn't the best defensive performance from the Pens. Again, I'm hoping it's not a trend that they are starting to struggle with teams that have the youthful exuberance and speed, because the Sharks, I mean, they got plenty of that. Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith, William Eklund, Michael Misa. They got a bunch of young guys that can fly. And in the other game that they played on this West Coast road trip, you had the Ducks with Leo Carlson and Mason McTavish, those types of guys. Those youngsters, they were absolutely flying around the ice, and they gave the Pens defense fits. The Sharks, they did the same thing in that game Saturday night, but fortunately, Tristan Jarry, brick wall and net. Great performance from him. He's been very Jekyll and Hyde to begin the year, but thank goodness the better side of him came out in this one. His 22nd career save. 31 saves for Jarry. He became tied with Tom Barrasso for second most shutouts in Penguins history. So we give Jarry a ton of flack here. Some of it, most of it actually deserved. But hey, we got to remember that still in there is a once upon a time, two-time All-Star in the NHL. So I love seeing that from Jarry. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the kids again. Ben Kindle, Harrison Brunick. Those two phenomenal again Saturday night. And our dreams, or our wishes as Penguins fans, they could be coming true. Josh Yohe does fantastic work covering the Penguins, saying that there is growing sentiment in the organization that Harrison Brunick and Ben Kindle might be here to stay for the entire year. So they're going to push past their 9-game tryouts here. And why not? I mean, Kindle, he has shown tons and tons of high potential for this team, moving the puck, protecting the puck, being a hound on the forecheck, being very sound and responsible back in his own zone. And anytime the puck hits his stick, he has been creating more chances than he's given up. Harrison Brunick, same thing. Sort of, I think, is a heir to the throne of Carlson in Letang as a top defenseman for this team. He's been excellent as well in the offensive zone, and then back when he's playing defense, had a couple of hiccups in the preseason, but he's been A-okay back there. Very clean in getting the puck, getting possession of the puck in the defensive zone, and making good breakout passes. So excellent stuff from those two youngsters. We will definitely keep a close eye on them as they're over the halfway point now, I believe, of their 9-game tryouts. We'll see what they can do here to maybe solidify their spots on this roster for the rest of the season. Like I mentioned, Pens back in Pittsburgh today. They returned, I believe, yesterday from their West Coast road trip. No changes in the lines for practice. We did get a couple of updates from head coach Dan Muse on the injury front, and the news is that there's no new news, no changes in the statuses for Kevin Hayes, Rutger McGroarty, or Joel Blomqvist, who are still out injured. All three continue to recover, but at least some positive news. McGroarty was seen skating on the ice this morning before the Pens had their team practice. So good news there. At least McGroarty could be coming back sooner rather than later. If he comes back and, Kindle or Brunick don't get sent down, it'll be very interesting to see the Pens finding a spot for him in the lineup. All right, 7 of you in here. We're going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment here in a moment. To the comment section we go. Here again, Al on the prowl. If I am the Steelers at the trade deadline, I would go grab more defense. Have heard that, and I mean, it is pretty valid. Want, though, what's really out there to add, honestly? I think more than anything, you kind of sound like the Pittsburgh Pirates when you say this, but for the defense, you just got to hope for internal improvement because, I mean, do you add along the defensive line? I mean, yeah, they gave up a ton of running to Chase Brown and Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker. Really, the ugly performances. The run defense has been probably one of the most horrid units on the team. But, I mean, still you got Hayward, Harmon, Benton, and then Daniel Ekwale. He's been, I think, a very underrated player on this team as a guy subbing in for them. Are you going to go and grab a big name to take Benton, Harmon, or Hayward out of the lineup? No, I think you're just going for a depth piece then, which they could honestly do. Same thing goes for corner. I mean, as rough as Slay and Porter and Ramsey have been, you're not going to, bench any of those guys and go spend massive trade capital on someone who may be out there, which, I mean, I couldn't tell you right now a corner who could be available for trade in the NFL right now, as crazy as that sounds. So grab more defense, yeah, but I think you're just grabbing depth at that point there, Al. Sugar Ray Robinson Jr., welcome back, Sugar Ray. I think the Steelers will beat the Packers. I believe the Steelers will get MVS that was released from the 49ers. Packers, yeah, you're joining me in that boat there, thinking that the Steelers are going to beat the Packers. It just feels like a Steelers game. You lose to a team that you should beat 9 times out of 10, the Bengals, and then, now everyone's going to be fired up looking for a massive bounce-back performance, and it's going to be a big night for Aaron Rodgers, I believe, as well. So you're joining me there, having a ton of confidence, probably blind confidence in this team heading into next Sunday night against the Packers. Getting MVS, though, I really don't want to do it, honestly. I mean, we have done so good. We have at avoiding the go get a friend of Aaron Rodgers stigma here. People still throwing out Alan Lazard that you could go for a trade. He's still a no for me. We even remember back to the offseason, people are saying, Rodgers might come here, watch the Steelers sign Devontae Adams. That didn't happen. Getting MVS just doesn't fulfill anything at all, honestly. I mean, just the 49ers cut him, and they have had wide receiver issues for a good while now. Brandon Ayuk, Ricky Pearsall, still waiting for him to become a guy. They traded Deebo Samuel. Jawan Jennings has been banged up, for them this season. They put in Kendrick Bourne over MVS, a guy who I'm sure Valdez-Scantling would have been battling with to getting some playing time with this 49ers team. If he couldn't make it there in a team that has had wide receiver health issues for a while now, and he gets cut, that should tell you a lot about what he can still do and still provide for a team, which isn't all that much. So I don't want MVS, respectfully. Before we get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news here for the day, going to go back here to the old X and see if there's any new news going on this evening. Been looking at my phone over here as it's been buzzing along, and we got some breaking news here. A new wide receiver option for the Steelers has been emerged, and unlike MVS, who just got cut from his team, this guy getting cut could actually be a realistic possibility for the Steelers in more ways than one. veteran wide receiver Tyler Lockett, former Seattle Seahawk who signed with the Tennessee Titans this offseason. He has asked and received his release from Tennessee. He is expected to sign with another team after 4 p.m. Wednesday. So that is massive right there, ladies and gentlemen. If the Steelers aren't willing to give up draft capital, a player in a trade for Jacoby Myers, this could be your fallback plan right here. Tyler Lockett, released from the Tennessee Titans, of course, comes in with he's one of those guys that fills that niche role that the Steelers are looking for at wide receiver right now. A guy who's going to be in the right spot all the time, good fluid route runner who finds the openings in the zone coverages. Lockett could do that. Also, good relationship, I believe, still with DK Metcalf. So you want to get a guy that at least knows a guy already on the team and can do everything that you've been looking for, except for, I think, the run blocking. Not sure Tyler Lockett is that much of a run blocker, but a guy who can be the lightning to the thunder that DK Metcalf brings. This could be an underrated addition here for the Steelers. We'll have to keep an eye on this. Looking here, seeing there is tons of reactions to this. You guys get your reactions to Tyler Lockett getting released. Would you want to see him come to the Steelers? Let me know. Seeing a ton of looking at the comments here, people saying should be a Buffalo Bill. Someone say watch him go back to out west, go with the Raiders. Though the Raiders, I mean, is that really a better position than the Tennessee Titans, honestly? Keep an eye on that. Yep, seeing tons of Steelers fans post Metcalf and Lockett together as Seahawks. We would definitely keep an eye on that. That's for sure. Going to continue along with the extra Pittsburgh sports news here for the day. In a moment, to the comment section we go. 10 of you in here. Breaking news. Tyler Lockett released from the Tennessee Titans. Steelers, I'm sure, were kicked the tires at least a little bit on him in the offseason. That was before they traded for DK Metcalf. Could we see a Seahawks reunion in Pittsburgh? Could Lockett join the Steelers, reunite with Metcalf, be another weapon for Aaron Rodgers? We will see. That could be very, very interesting. Concepts, welcome back, Concepts. Hope everyone is doing well. Busy day, but had to drop a like. Thank you, Concepts. Appreciate that as always. Breezy 420 in here. Welcome, Breezy. Tyler Lockett or Tyler Boyd, LOL. I'm taking Lockett over Boyd. Boyd, I think he's a purely slot guy. Also, I think as much as we can make an argument that Lockett has lost a step, I think Boyd has him beat out in that department as well. So you want another guy that can help a little bit outside the numbers, not be a pure slot, and be a complement to Metcalf. I think I'm taking Lockett in that matchup. Also, slot really isn't going to be an issue for the Steelers because they've been running 12 personnel a lot, and you got two receiving tight ends and Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith that are going to play slot a lot. So Tyler Lockett, this is very, very interesting to me. Concepts here. Lockett had good hands, but I'm not sure about his physicality. His route running might have taken a considerable dip. Who knows? I think, any route running would be better than what the Steelers, have currently. They got go ball guys and guys that, do they run routes beyond 8 yards of the line of scrimmage? Not much. So Lockett, he may still be, might still have at least a little bit of a route running. It wouldn't be, wouldn't be the worst thing, honestly, to just bring in Lockett. Does he stay here the entire season? I don't know. But if you want to bring him in here to see what he's still got, I'd be okay with that. And then if you still go out and trade for Jacoby Myers and you see Lockett has lost the steps, then you send him on his merry way again. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Yeah, physicality, no, literally has negative physicality, honestly, because we've seen for years up there in Seattle, he catches the ball and he goes down immediately, yards after the catch. Not his forte. He avoids hits at all times, but good hands. That could be another thing that the Steelers team could use. They've had a couple games where they've had drop issues, so wouldn't mind having another guy with strong hands on this team. Breezy here was just joking because Boyd's Pittsburgh ties. Yeah, I know. Pittsburgh guy, University of Pittsburgh. If there was ever a chance he would be a Steeler, probably would have been the moment he left Cincinnati, because we know Steelers love to bring in guys from division rivals. Their defense, pretty much a quarter of it's pretty much those guys: Queen, Elliott, Thornhill, Chuck Clark. You know, those types of guys. If the Steelers wanted to do that, they would. I don't see him doing it now, though. Lockett is definitely a thumbs up. I saw him play in Seattle. Yeah, though the Lockett we saw in Seattle, I think there's a reason more than, Seattle going a different direction as a franchise. That Lockett left there. I'd be interested to see what he still has, Lockett. So we will keep an eye on that. 4 p.m. tomorrow, I think, is what they, or Wednesday is what they said. We could see him sign with a team. So I am very interested in seeing if Lockett could be getting a call from the Steelers. We will see. See him and Metcalf paired up again. Wouldn't be the worst thing. Anyways, into the extra Pittsburgh sports news now here for the day. I'm going to roll through these rather quickly here. Going to the college ranks here. Pittsburgh Steelers again this weekend, scouting on a couple of quarterbacks. They were at Oregon's game. Forget who they played, but they blew them out. Might have been Arkansas? I don't know. I can't remember who Oregon played. Anyways, Steelers, they were at Oregon's game. Again, scouting Dante Moore. I think right now he's one of my favorites, up there with Lenora Sellers and John Mateer, Ty Simpson, those types of guys who we didn't have at the top of our quarterback draft boards to begin the year, but they are certainly there now. So keep an eye, if you're watching college football, on guys like Dante Moore. Also, Steelers scouts were reported to be at the Holy War game between Utah and BYU. Not sure if there's any quarterbacks in those matchups. Not, guys that you'd be blown away by, or maybe not even draft eligible, but there are some offensive tackles there as well. Utah's Spencer Fano and Caleb Lomo, according to Olin Saunders, who covers the Steelers. Those could have been guys that the Steelers were looking at. Steelers do have to still make a decision on the fifth-year option of Broderick Jones, so doing all of your homework on your tackles until you make a definitive decision on Jones. You got to do your due diligence there. Also, just finishing up here on college quarterback, CBS, they came out with, I believe, their first mock draft, or one of their first mock drafts of the season here. In the Steelers, they have picking at 15, and they have them taking a quarterback, though not a guy that I expected. They have them taking Jaden Mayava, quarterback from USC. Out of all the quarterbacks, I didn't look at, what all quarterbacks went before this pick, but I mean, Mayava, played a hell of a game, I think, against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish the other night. But is he a guy I'm willing to spend a first-round pick on right now? I don't think so, not yet. 15 touchdowns to one pick. It is impressive, though, but I got to see more on him. Just not too familiarized with him quite yet. Speaking of quarterbacks, getting back into the NFL here, talk about rough sledding here for quarterbacks when they leave Pittsburgh. We already have talked about on this channel Russell Wilson getting benched for Jackson Dart in New Jersey. Justin Fields now, he is joining Russell Wilson on the bench apparently, Fields and the Jets, who are still winless, Fields got benched at the beginning of the second half against the who are the Jets playing? Why am I forgetting that? Anyway, Fields got benched in that game. Tyrod Taylor now the quarterback. Will he stay there? I don't know. But man, Fields and Wilson already getting benched this season gives a massive hit to the Steelers in their compensatory pick situation. Also, Kenny Pickett got in there for the Raiders against the Chiefs, and on the first snap of his career as a Raider, fumbled the ball. So things are not looking good for Steelers quarterbacks when they leave Pittsburgh. It almost gives you a new appreciation for Arthur Smith. Saw Allen Saunders come out with an article about this. Could Arthur Smith be some sort of a quarterback guru that we did not, think of him as before? I mean, got a, few more good games out of Russell Wilson in his career that has been on a sharp downward slide. Aaron Rodgers, he's been reborn here with the Steelers back to his four-time MVP self. Got some good football out of Justin Fields, got the Steelers to 4-2 with Fields last year, did Arthur Smith in this offense. And then going back to his days as the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator, Ryan Tannehill, who wasn't anyone's, top quarterback ever, got him to play the best football of his career. So maybe we got to give Arthur Smith a little bit more credit here. Say what you will about his play calling, but his scheme and his ability right now to get the most out of quarterbacks, no matter how good or bad they may be, it has been outstanding. Definitely feel if they keep Arthur Smith on as an OC, might be a better looking situation for the Steelers drafting a first round rookie quarterback than what we may think. I think automatically our minds go to, oh, you bring in a rookie quarterback here, Tomlin is going to wait forever to play him, and then when he does play him, he's going to put training wheels on him forever. But Arthur Smith, he has been able to get a bunch out of those quarterbacks. Maybe he's able to do the same thing with a rookie, should the Steelers get one. Wrapping up here on the Steelers for tonight, the extra Pittsburgh sports news on them. Over the weekend, happy birthday to Juan Thornhill, Steelers safety. Also, a couple updates on some other Steelers players. Patrick Queen has been fined, not for a hit that he laid out in the Bengals game, but he was fined over $23,000 for a hit on Browns quarterback Dylan Gabriel that was deemed below a blow to the head or neck. So Queen, again, I think that's a second time or something he's gotten fined this year. I'm pretty sure something's telling me he's gotten fined earlier this season too. If so, that's crazy. And the last thing here on the Steelers today, I believe Miles Killebrew having knee surgery after his injury against the Browns from last weekend. So thoughts and prayers to Miles Killebrew. Probably easy to guess that this surgery will be season-ending. Steelers put him on IR before they took on the Bengals Thursday night. Getting back into hockey here for a couple of seconds here, wrapping up the extra Pittsburgh sports news for the day. Some interesting news down on the farm for the Pens, as over the weekend, Taylor Haas of DK Pittsburgh Sports came out with an article saying that Penguins prospect defenseman Emil Pieniemi has been suspended by the team. Pieniemi, he was, I believe he was a second-round pick by the Pens 3-4 years ago, and he's one of those guys where all right, we're starting to get to that time. Is he going to get to the NHL here, make his debut, or not? And shockingly, he was one of the early cuts for the Pens in their training camp about a month or so ago. And we were wondering, all right, what's up with that? He was sent down to the Wheeling Nailers in the ECHL. Turns out, never showed up to the ECHL. He is kind of a man missing in action right now. We have no idea where Pieniemi is, and the Pens have suspended him for it. So Got to wonder what's going on there. He didn't want to go to the ECHL is what has been reported. So, I doubt the Pens are going to, say, hey, kid, you're throwing a temper tantrum because you got sent down to the ECHL. That's all right. We'll make good by you and send you to the AHL. So I don't see any sort of situation where Pieniemi's just all of a sudden going to show up to Wheeling after this suspension. He may just go back to Sweden or Finland, and who knows when we'll see him again. Also, for the Pens, speaking of their farm system, Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins 3-0 to start the season. They are on a roll and leading the way. Sergei Murashov 2-0 for the Baby Pens with a 1.50, I should say, goals against average and a 944 save percentage. So Murashov off to a hot start down there in Wilkes-Barre. Maybe we'll see him at some point this season. We should, honestly, in the Pens pipes. But, to begin the year, I think the Pens, they want to see what they got in Jari and Shalovs. If they lose along the way with those goaltenders, I think they'll be fine. Looking to be in the hunt for the first overall pick. And then we'll see Murashov make his debut probably later on this season. Last couple things here on the Pens for tonight. They play the Vancouver Canucks tomorrow night, 7 p.m. A couple days ago, as a matter of fact, this was yesterday, Canucks general manager Patrick Allvin, who was assistant general manager to Jim Rutherford here many, many years ago. He announced that forward Brock Besser for the Canucks did not play yesterday for Vancouver due to personal reasons. That now puts him presumably in jeopardizing him of his chances playing tomorrow night. So the Canucks, they might be down a man against the Pens. And also congratulations to Dan Potash of the Penguins. He, over the weekend, celebrating 25 years with the Pens organization. Wrapping up here, the news story for today, just talking about some baseball briefly. There will be no National League Central or team that will make the World Series this year. The Dodgers sweeping the Milwaukee Brewers in the championship series over the weekend. So now all of the Pirates division rivals are out. And honestly, watching that, it was not even close at all in that series. Brewers and Dodgers makes you think, the way that the Dodgers are looking right now, lockout 2027. It's a coming. So we'll see what happens then. Hopefully the Pirates still have Paul Skeens by then. And I don't mean talking about Skeens getting traded. Saw a video over the weekend, Skeens over in Italy, and him being 6'7" and the doors being really tiny over there in Italy. Bro's been bumping his head off of everything. So please keep your head on there, Mr. Skeens. Wrapping up here with a couple of comments before we log off for the night. Breezy again here. I'd give up Highsmith and a third for Chris Olave, or even try to trade for Jalen Waddle. Talked about that a little bit early, Breezy. Not sure if you were here or not. Olave and the Saints, or at least the Saints end of this, they want to try to lock up Olave on an extension. And as bad as the Dolphins are, I see a scenario in which they ship off a bunch of other pieces, with Waddle being the least likely to move. And also, giving up Highsmith and a third. I said this, about the Eagles and why they would trade A.J. Brown. It just doesn't make any sense for a team that is pushing for the playoffs to subtract from a good strength to fill in a weakness there. So if the Steelers are going to trade for a wide receiver, I don't see any which way it's a guy like Highsmith or Pat Freiermuth that is going the other way. It would have to almost be, a situation where you trade Highsmith for Jacoby Myers, and also in return you get the best outside linebacker that the Raiders have as well, so that you're not just, getting rid of the production of Highsmith altogether. You're at least getting something back to help in that area as well. So we'll see what happens. See if the Steelers either sign Tyler Lockett that we talked about, or if they will remain in on getting a guy like a Jacoby Myers. Concepts here. I know he likes to avoid hits by going down early. Could that mean his shiftiness and speed has stayed a plus? A physical, I guess, would be that. Yeah, we'll see. Of course, there's always physicals that come when you sign a guy in the NHL or in the NFL or any sport for that reason. So, yeah, could he have lost a step with the speed or shiftiness? I don't know, but yeah, him avoiding contact any way he can, I think definitely has, kept his shelf life longer than some other wide receivers out there. Aaron Glenn doesn't seem to have a clue as a head coach. Yeah, I mean, that just looks like an ugly situation there in the Jets. And who's having the biggest laugh about it? Aaron Rodgers. Remember, it was Aaron Glenn who had Rodgers in the Jets building for 5 minutes and told him, "You're not good enough to be my quarterback." Sent Rodgers on his way, and now, karma is a bitch for the New York Jets. Breezy 420 here again. I believe in Will Howard. I do too. And I think that's the little bit of Steelers fan in all of us that just wants to see this kind of local kid, Ohio kid, who won a national championship, come here, defy the odds of a 6th round pick, and lead us to the promised land just like he did his team in college. But possibility on Howard being a guy here for the Steelers, probably putting it around 1%, maybe even below that at this point. The cards are really, really stacked against Will Howard. I believe in him. I believe, if, you can get him out there on a field when he's healthy, he might be able to show you something that shows, hey, he was better than what the 6th round pick you used to get him there. But I think the situation for Howard isn't looking real good right now. Still waiting for him to get off of IR too. I mean, got put on IR at the beginning of the year. That's 4 weeks. Now we're heading into week 8, and we haven't heard a single peep on him. The only thing we've heard, from a quarterback other than Aaron Rodgers this season is Skylar Thompson getting jumped in Dublin. So, not sure what's going on there. Sugar Ray Robinson here again. Jordan Love is the weakness in Green Bay Packers offense. We need to blitz him and pressure him. Yeah, Jordan Love hasn't really developed into that superstar yet. He is a, still very suitable starting quarterback in the NFL, but a guy who is still, got weapons around him that are developing and pretty young. Pressuring him, he's still pretty young as well. Get pressure on him, make him make mistakes. Flacco, he's been if he's seen everything, he's able to process everything and make the right decision. Jordan Love, though, I think, still hasn't gotten enough experience yet to see everything that, gets thrown at him in a game. So I would love to see them blitz him. Hopefully they learn from their mistakes against the Bengals. Wrapping up here with concepts. The NFL loves stealing money from the Steelers players for no real reason. Don't even get me started on terrible officiating each game, especially when they're favored. Yeah, I mean, talk about poor officiating. I forgot to mention this earlier. Has anybody else over the weekend seen the videos of Dalton Reisner, the left guard for the Bengals, tripping up Cam Hayward, and the second interception that Rodgers threw that got ripped away from Metcalf, how the corner never fully possessed the ball when his body hit the ground. So, poor officiating has not been on the Steelers' side, both, from the Steelers doing and from, other reasons here. But, Patrick Queen, I don't even remember the hit that he laid on Gabriel. It certainly wasn't the one where Gabriel was, kind of grabbing at him, but I don't know. Worried about our comp picks with Russ and Fields being benched. Najee injury. Dan Moore should remain a third, hopefully. Yeah, that's pretty much your only hope of getting a third. I mean, heading into the season, you would have expected, to maybe have all 3 of those 3rd round picks, because Fields was the guy there in New York, and you were expecting the Jets to still be bad, but not just god awful. It's that meme of the guy holding up the sign that says, "Our expectations were low, but holy." Yeah, so that was that. You would have expected Fields to fetch you a pretty decent comp pick, being, a suitable starter there. And Wilson, I don't think any of us could have predicted Jackson Dart getting put in there this early. Maybe around this time in the season, you could have expected a quarterback change to be there, but Russ just fell right off. He fell off the cliff in the last 5 games of a Steeler as a Steeler, but still stayed falling off that cliff as a Giant. So yeah, those 2 third-round pick comp dreams, they're way out the window. And Dan Moore, I think health will be the reason that will be the only reason that stops him. I mean, I think he's been the Dan Moore that we knew here in Pittsburgh, there in Tennessee, but the Titans, they're paying him too much money, I think, to bench him. It's just a matter of him staying healthy. That'll get the Steelers comp pick help there. Concepts here. Yep, Metcalf looked to get hit in the helmet too on that pick. Elliott got called for his hit versus the Browns. Yeah, you brought that up on Friday. Their concepts. Metcalf takes a hard hit to the helmet area. Wouldn't it be something if something comes out in the next couple of days that, I think it was Geno Stone who hit Metcalf there, that, the NFL has fined Bengal safety Geno Stone X amount of dollars for his hit to the head and neck area of DK Metcalf. And they show the video, and it's that pick. So where the hell was the flag in real time? And yeah, he didn't hold on to it to boot. So it is what it is at this point. Just move on here. Steelers got the Packers coming up. We're looking ahead to that game now. What's in the past is in the past. Let's all get better here. We got down to the dumps on Friday. Let's leave that on Friday, and let's move ahead here. Highly anticipated Packers game coming up on the weekend. I want to thank you all for joining me here tonight on stream for pushing nearly an hour and a half. So a decent live stream to open up the week for a not of, tons of Steelers news over the weekend, besides, more stuff from the Bengals game and looking at some other stuff going on in the NFL that could relate to the Steelers wide receivers and stuff like that. So, thank you all for being on here tonight and having some fun with me on stream. We'll be back here again tomorrow. We will have a good bit of stuff to talk about. Mike Tomlin's press conference will be tomorrow at noon, so we'll break down everything that Tomlin had to say then. We will talk about any new Penguins news as well, and we'll see if there's any more information on this Tyler Lockett situation. See if there's anything brewing there between Lockett and the Steelers. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining me here tonight. One final time, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Like this live stream, share this live stream, leave a comment on it after the fact as well. Still hanging at 604 subscribers, so go hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already. Go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and tune back in a little bit later on tonight for a new edition of SCSR 60. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your Monday evening. Back here tomorrow night to talk about what Tomlin says and anything else that happens to go on in Pittsburgh sports. Have a good rest of your Monday night. Peace.